Domain 1, planning and preparation. I think as I was kind of reading through this and thinking about it today, what exactly we're going to present, I really don't want to stand and read it to you because you can read it yourself. But I think the thing that stood out to me was, it's going to be important for you to sort of self-reflect on what you currently do. All right, there are examples, there are critical attributes that are listed with all of this stuff. Not all of it's, there's not a math or an English or a reading or a science listed with every one. There's not always a high school, junior high, elementary. It's kind of a mixed bag with each component and within the domain as far as the examples go. So I think it's just important for you to reflect on what you do, what your current practices are, and see, okay, do I think that would be, the way I do that, is that at a basic level? Is that at a proficient level? Is it at a distinguished level? And if what you do is not to the level that you think it should be, then the challenge for you is going to be, how do I take what I'm doing and change it and make it better? So that's going to be, I think, the most beneficial for you. Now, it's going to be tough to do that in a group like this, but I can't stand up here and tell you how to change what you do every day to make it better. Okay, I think you guys have to do that as a at the high school, as a department, as an individual, at the elementary, maybe as a grade level team. You're going to have to evaluate how you do things, how you assess, how you instruct, what types of classroom practices, procedures, things like that you use, and determine, what's good, what's not, what do we need to change. So,
and the importance is, in each one of these categories, we have to see evidence of what you're doing. If we don't see it, it's hard for us to determine where it's at. So it'll be on you, especially on the off-stage ones, the 1 and 4, to provide things for us. Provide us with, what do they call it in that one list? Artifacts, evidence of what is it I'm doing, especially in Domain 1, that is showing this. What am I doing in Domain 2 when we're in your classroom? What are we seeing that's showing that? So that's why this is important for you to take some time to look at this rubric and see. It takes a lot of the subjectivity away from us. If we don't see it, if we don't have evidence of it, then it's not happening. Or if we see it as a basic level, because that's the evidence you're providing for us, then that's what the rating will be. So that's why we're doing this, to give you a chance to at least look through this and come up with some ideas of, well, I do this, I think that's kind of basic. What do I have to do to make it proficient? What do I have to do to make it distinguished? Because that's where it's on you to come up with that evidence for us, especially in 1 and 4, because we won't see those when we're in your classroom. You have that list of attributes. Is that on there? Is that at the end?
Did we put that on there?
Yeah.
You want me to go do that?
It's at the end of each. There.
So if you look at Domain 1, it's some artifact ideas, some things things that you're going to have to come up with for us and show us for that domain. Now, are your lesson plans, the artifact to show us your lesson plans, are they unsatisfactory, basic, proficient, or distinguished? Well, that's based on the rubric that you have in front of you and what it entails to make them that. Or if you look over here at the critical attributes, what are my lesson plans saying? What are my lesson plans showing? Are my lesson plans unsatisfactory? Does it say, read chapter 1? Are my lesson plans basic? Are my lesson plans proficient? Are they distinguished? And it says in the rubric, it gives you an idea of what that is. So, yeah, you can just come in and say, well, here's my lesson plans. That doesn't make them automatically distinguished, proficient. It's based on the rubric and what we see in the lesson plans. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Do you have this?
Yes. No.
Not
You don't have that? Well, wait. You have part of that.
Back of the book. I don't. There's a page at the back that's called Sources of Information. It's not exactly the same thing that's up there.
Page 53.
Yeah, page 53.
I will say this,
But
if
it's-
and when the new evaluation tool is accepted and we go to that, you will have this as part of documents you can look at. You will have many examples like this. We met yesterday with the Joint Committee to present it to them, and that is part of the plan, is to have that for you to look at. Not only the artifacts side of things, we kind of rearrange this, but also give you, 1A, observations, artifacts, things you can use to go along with 1A, things you can use to go along with 1B, things you can use to go along with 1C. So those are the things we'll be looking for within each component of the domain. Now, how good they are will determine whether it's basic, proficient, or distinguished. Clear as mud? So that's why we're presenting this to you, so you know. This is what I can use in Domain 1 for artifacts and ideas to help me with all these things. Now, you look at the rubric that you have, is what you have there to determine whether it's distinguished, proficient, basic, or needs improvement. Yeah. Yeah. When this becomes our new tool, hopefully, everything will be on the website where you can get on, you can look at every handout that you have to do, every artifact, every the rubrics will be on there for each domain. Everything will be available for you to access on the school website at any time. The forms and everything you'll have to fill out and everything you'll have to do, we'll be able to get on there and fill them out right there online, fill them out on a piece of paper, print them out, have them nice and neat. You won't have to write everything out because it will be more work for you. And I want to say, this is not something dreamed up by us. We don't want this, we want to change in an evaluation tool, but we didn't dream this up. It's been a lot of work for us. We had to spend all summer learning how to do it, and we still got a long way to go, but it's going to be a lot more work for everybody to do. We're going to try to make it as simple as possible. So does that help with some ideas of what artifact-wise and what you might need to do for Domain 1? Scroll down a little lower maybe. See down here. Is that all of it? Yeah. So as you look through Domain 1, that's what it is. So if you want to take a look at the rubric for 1A, just go ahead and take a look at the rubric for 1A, Domain 1A, and it says here, this is some things you might want to look at, unit plan, your activity or assignment, and take a look at what it says is distinguished, proficient, basic, and take a look and just in your mind, what do I do? Where would my lesson plan fall? Or where would my whatever 1A is? Knowledge of content, that word I never could pronounce. So whatever that is, where would your stuff fall for that? So take a look at that. Take a couple minutes just to take a look at that and see, what are you doing? Where would it fall? Would it be basic, distinguished, proficient, or whatever?